You will be filled with wonder and amazement when you see Antarctica. If you visit Antarctica, you'll feel as if you've traveled to another planet. But this exotic place is planet Earth. It's home. Antarctica is the most isolated continent on Earth. It rests 2,500 miles from South Africa, 1,500 miles from Australia, and 600 miles from South America. There are virtually no geographic obstacles to the circumpolar current that rings it, creating some of the most violent seas in the world. Sometimes called the bottom of the world, from the southern pole you can point in any direction and call it north. There, you could experience the longest days and nights, each lasting 6 months. Antarctica is the windiest continent, creating its own wind system, in part due to the circumpolar current, and in part due to katabatic winds of supercooled air descending off glaciers which sometimes exceed speeds of 200 miles an hour. Antarctica is the coldest continent, setting global record temperatures as low as minus 136 degrees Fahrenheit. In part because the air is so cold it cannot carry moisture, Antarctica is one of the driest places on Earth. It's sometimes called the Crystal Desert, with annual accumulations of less than 1 inch, about the same as the Sahara Desert. Parts of Antarctica, like the dry valleys, have had no precipitation in over 2 million years. Antarctica has the lowest biotic diversity inland, but is surrounded by one of the richest marine environments on the planet. It has never had an indigenous human culture. The 5th largest continent, larger than Europe or Australia, 50% larger than the United States of America, Antarctica is the highest continent with an average elevation of 6,100 feet, almost 3 times as high as North America. But you probably wouldn't notice this, as it's buried under the largest ice mass in the world. The Antarctic ice sheet covers 95% of the continent, up to 15,700 feet thick. It contains 90% of the world's ice and 68% of the world's fresh water. Technically, it is the largest body of fresh water in the world. The Antarctic ice sheet is so heavy that its weight depresses the continental crust more than half a mile. Frozen into the Antarctic ice is a record of atmospheric changes dating back 500,000 years. It contains many other mysteries, such as Lake Vostok, which is the size of North America's Lake Huron. And there's even more ice in Antarctica. The freezing of sea ice in winter more than doubles the area of the continent, experiencing a 5-fold seasonal increase and decrease annually. Changes in Antarctica's climate always herald global climate changes. The Antarctic ice sheet works as the Earth's refrigeration unit. There are many reasons why. Ice reflects over 80% of the sun's radiation, reducing total global heat absorption. By freezing out salt, sheet ice increases water salinity, serving as a barrier to energy exchange between ocean and atmosphere. Near freezing, fresh meltwater runs off the ice sheet along with water from melting icebergs, and falls to the ocean floor, creating Antarctic bottom water, the coldest, saltiest water mass in the oceans. It's a primary driver in global ocean circulation. Together, all of these factors change global weather patterns. If the Antarctic ice sheet were to fully melt, sea level would rise 200 feet. Antarctic ice impacts sea levels most, not only because it contains the most ice, but also because a great deal of that ice is on land. But that won't happen overnight. It took 14 million years to get the way it is today. Still, it is changing rapidly. The question is not, does climate change exist? Climate always changes. Ice ages come and go. During an ice age that started over 2.6 million years ago, our human civilizations arose in a warming interglacial period that may last up to 50,000 more years. Is human industry accelerating global warming? Yes. And here's the real debate. Why? How much? How fast? As important as those questions are, none of them are the most important question. The most important question is, what's the best way to respond now in anticipation of inevitable changes tomorrow? There are a lot of good people searching for clues that will help us answer this question. And our understanding is growing fast. It's a great thing that Antarctica has been designated an international territory devoted to science until 2048. We have a lot more to learn from it. And if you get to know Antarctica better, you'll develop a better understanding of our planet and our role in its future. They say you go to Antarctica as a tourist and you come back as an ambassador. That has been my experience. I've fallen in love with Antarctica. You will too.